Well, tonight we continue our You Paid For It series with some help from our nonprofit partners at Investigative Post. Now, they've been looking into a deal on 3rd Street in Niagara Falls. A state-run development corporation has given TM Montante 2 buildings valued at just under $1 million.
Yeah, the plan is that the developer will turn it into a bar, restaurant, and meeting space. State law usually prevents a deal like that from happening, but reporter Mark Shear found out the developer might get even more state money.
Developer TM Montante has applied for more than $750,000 in state and federal tax credits. It's also seeking nearly $500,000 in cash from a tourism development fund. But wait, there's still more. Montante is also asking the Niagara County Industrial Development Agency to cut its property, sales, and mortgage taxes by almost another $500,000. Add it all up, and taxpayers would fork over more than $2.5 million. And what do they get in return? 14 jobs, many of them cooks, bartenders, and waitresses. The subsidies work out to nearly $200,000 a job.
I would say it sounds like this project isn't the best way for Niagara County to invest public money.
State Senator Sean Ryan was also critical.
So why would you take one business owner and say, we're going to give you a lot of benefits, but everyone you compete against has to pay their own way? That's bad economic development.
No one from the development company or the state and local economic development agencies pushing the subsidies would go on camera to discuss the project. Off camera, they justified the subsidies, saying the law allows them for retail projects in economically distressed areas. The poverty rate in the neighborhood around the project approaches 50%. Sean Weber, who owns Wine on 3rd, a bar and restaurant across the street from the proposed project, supports the subsidies.
In an ideal world, there'd be no subsidies. You know, the rents would be high enough to cover any investment you needed to make to get the project done, but that's not the real world, especially in Niagara Falls. The real world is, if you don't get these subsidies, none of this stuff will happen.
Ryan isn't convinced.
You know, this just isn't a public benefit. This is a private gain, and this should stay where it belongs, in the private sector.
The IDA is scheduled to vote on the incentive package for the project on July 14th. For Channel 2 News, I'm Mark Shear with Investigative Post.